Let's talk about outbuilding number 2. I guess number 1 in terms of size, but this is the barn. Built in 1971. It was primarily a dairy barn. However, its uses have been kind of switched over since we've got a hold of it. Big slider door right here that we're walking to. Opens just that easy. Alrighty, let's take a walk in. Check out some stuff. We've been doing a lot of cleaning in here. Let's start on the right. We have an open stall. Had a lot of straw in it. We haven't used it yet. Next stall over here is full of 2 goats. This is Mr. Chunks, and that's Freddy, and that's our heated water bucket over there. Another stall we use to keep primarily, if we can stick a horse in here, and we have, if it focus, there we go. And we also use it back end to keep goat stuff in it for now, because they can't get in here. And then yet another stall over here we haven't used either. It too is full of what we call straw. It was hay at one time, but it's really old. Next we have another gate, another stall, another stall. This one looks like it's for cow rearing, because it's got the clamp there that bolts on the head, and you can give birth to the cows and stuff like that. And we've done a lot of work to this one here. It also had 2 stanchions in it for milking. We've taken that out. The neat part about these gates that close these 3 stalls is that they will open up all the way. And if you notice there's a hole there, they'll actually latch across the walkway as well. We have that one latched because we've been dealing with horses. But all 3 of them will actually pull across and create, 3 separate areas, or 1 area back here, or 1 area up there, what have you. 2 windows on this side over here, and no windows on this side over here. There are lights in here and power, of course, so that's all nice and dandy. And there are the beams and rafters for all of you playing along at home. But what's more interesting, and there is, by the way, another slider door behind me. What's interesting are 2 wonderful doors here. Let's see. There's a man door right there. And here's a hydrant that does not currently operate. This used to be for grain, but there's something in it right now, and I'll tell you what. And then here is a walking area, so if you were milking your cows or what have you, there's an area, a man walk area here. And then we have another, just a man door out the side here. Now originally, there's a window there, and then a device up there, and let me show you what that is. This first door is actually the tack room. Well, it used to be the cooler room for the milk. There's a refrigerator in here, that International Harvester fridge, that was in here. This is where the gentleman kept all his farm supplies, and we're converting it slowly into a tack room. Get some extra plywood we'll put up here. We'll be able to hang all our gear. All around here we'll probably put some shelving right here. It too has a light. There we go. We got a couple saddles that are going to be, I'm going to build a few more of these. So we'll have saddles and tack and all our gear here. Now originally this wall went straight across, and this was used to store grain back when they used to store grain in the barn. So there's the window, which is actually was just open, and then up here is a chute, and I showed you the door on the outside. You could bring an auger in and just fill this thing up full of grain, and then there was actually a box over this that would let you scoop the grain out of the bin. But now we're going to be using it to store tack gear. And then this is the stairway up to the top, and I'll show you that in just a second. This is the tack room now for our barn, and it's got power too. Breaker lives behind the wall over there. You access it from the outside, and say you step on out into the center walkway again. The walkway consists of just a little dirt and a little bit of stone, nothing too awful. This was originally all straw and hay, about 3 inches thick, really old stuff. Okay, next door, right up here. Alright, once I get this thing figured out, it's a very old door from some other. We hop up into the loft. Why hop when we can just walk up it here? There is the grain, there's the door on the outside, and there's the door on the bottom. As we come up here, we have the loft. Window and a vent up there. Some ropes hanging down, I'm not sure what they were used for. And another window and another vent. And then up top here we have these 2 big doors, one on each side again, that you can just push them open and fall down to your death. Or just an awful accident. And then it shows a nice view of the house and all the Kwanzas and things. We'll get into those later. Barrel of nothing. Some more hay, which we're now calling straw. Problem I have with this barn, unfortunately, is that the roof is pretty toasted. Not the roof itself, but the roofing material, so it leaks quite a bit. You can see the holes through. So we're going to be tinning it this year, and that'll probably make it on a YouTube video as well. And there are pigeons in my eaves. If you listen, there's a vent of one. You can hear them coo. But this is the hay loft. We plan on emptying it out, completely of everything. Probably sweeping the floor. Time or money allows me to, we'll do a subfloor on here, and then we'll probably do like dog agility or storage, or no need for straw or hay up here anymore. Typically that stuff's stored outside. And that device right there, and there's another one over here. There are vents on the other side, but they actually go down into the lower floor. So that's actually used to vent downstairs, even though their vents are located way up here. If I come around to this door here, give you the view outside of it as well. If you've been following along in my other videos, there is the former goat house, the horse shelter. I'll lean out a little bit. There's a horse, and then there's a chicken coop. And then down below, this is what we call field 4, that connects to the barn, and the horses were here, now they're over there in field 2. And then behind us and around us are other field numbers. We haven't finished the fencing on them yet. So that is the barn. Let me show you the big problem with the outside, and then we'll wrap this one up. Tour of the outside of the barn. It's really tall. We're going to paint it this year too. It's got its own power pole. As I said, the breakers come around to the corner right here. We have our windows and our vents and our man door and a trough that's no longer used. But if you look along the edge there on the roof, you can see how all the roofing is really puckered up. It leaks quite bad. And even the little edge there, which the term escapes me right at the moment, is really rotted. Pigeons have been getting into my eave right there. So we're gonna go and tin this up this summer, hopefully. So we'll keep it preserved. Let's cross the way here and look at the other sides. The back of the barn with the vents and the windows and the big slider door again. There's a little corral on this side of it that's gated. Originally this gate I think did 2 service. It did this corral and access over there, but we've since just fenced that side in. So it kind of controls a corral with no gate on the other side, and here are the 2 vents that actually vent down into the building. This side of the roof isn't as bad, but it's still pretty bad. So like I say, this will be the first building to get roofed. There's enough material to do the insulator shed from what we found on site, but this barn we're gonna do nice and pretty. So that's the barn. Perfect for our horses. I'm probably gonna get a llama or alpaca later, and between the goats and probably a couple sheep and what have you, this will be just the right facility to service those guys. So they'll be all set for winter time, summer, spring, and fall. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. I'll be hitting these other buildings later, Quonset 1, Quonset 2, and what we call the insulator shed, which I've already explained why we call it that.